Fight fans, yes, I'm back finally. I know, right? Oh man, I a little late though, and by little I mean like 15 minutes, which is quite a bit. Lots of technical difficulties after being away for that long. The whole room was fucked up. There was stuff all over the place. It wasn't even me. I wasn't here. I had to clean everything up. And then, of course, I had to log in, didn't have the password because this isn't my account. I share it with people. I mean, it was a whole ordeal, not a great situation, but we're back. We made it through. Also, didn't even have a chance last night to do all of the picks. So I had to do some this morning. My God, it's tough getting back into the rhythm, that's for sure. But we're back. I've got my picks. I feel good about the picks. The last few weeks went fairly well. A couple of hiccups here and there, of course. I mean, you guys wouldn't have known that. I could have just said I nailed every single pick, but that's not who I am. I mean, we all know I would have made mistakes. I'm not going to lie to you guys like that, obviously. But well, actually, I'll give you a quick recap anyway. I mean, might as well at least let you know a little bit how it went. Let's see. For the last few weeks, oh man, everything is set up weird. Everything's far away. I can't see that. My goodness, can't see my laptop from that far away. My God. Maybe I'm just getting old too. Who knows? So last week, minus 2.3 units, pretty close to breaking even there. Minus 1.42 the week before that. Again, pretty much even. I mean, we were so close. And then did get some profit the week before that, almost 4 units up. And minus 2 before that, which I believe was then, I think that was UFC London if we go back that far, which is last time I was here. So we've been definitely still kind of just right on that line. We're either just below it, just above it, just, we're still getting there. But I will say I've been getting slightly better with the non-UFC events. So I'm thinking of kind of fixing the UFC strategy because I feel like UFC is kind of the only one that I'm not really making as much money on, which is a little weird. You would think I would be doing better with the UFC ones because I know more about the people, but it seems like maybe the stats are just where it's at. You just follow, just don't even watch the tape. You just do the stats. I don't know. But what's been getting me the most amount of money, I will say, the parlays. That's what's been really saving me in the UFC ones, but also getting me the money in the other cards is really the parlays. So I think that should definitely be a big focus going forwards for sure. I mean, it kind of already was, but more so. And maybe we'll tone down some of the other bets. I'm not sure. I mean, as I've said before, we're still kind of working through everything, trying to get the whole system kind of flushed out. But it's definitely going in the right direction. I can tell you that. Anyway, well, I mean, no point talking about the bets from last week because I wasn't here last week or the week before that, or the week before that, or the week before that. So, I mean, you guys didn't know what I was betting on. So it's okay. We'll just hard restart this week. We'll talk about this week, and then moving forward, we'll do our normal thing, of course. No vacations for me for the foreseeable future. You're stuck with me now. Okay, so we'll jump right into it now. Nice to be back, by the way. I'm excited. Now, UFC Paris. I'm excited. By the way, I should really say all the cards, my God, when we were gone, my line of picks has gone down quicker. Oh my goodness. I should obviously put that back down. R&R back right away. Number one fan, obviously. I mean, the only fan, possibly. But yeah, my God, I was literally just going to say, and thank you for welcoming me back there. Thank you. Thank you. It's nice to be back. But yeah, I was literally just going to say the fights of the past month have been, I mean, like, we've seen some pretty incredible stuff for sure. Yes, of course. O'Malley, which, by the way, I don't know if you saw on Tapology, that was my pick. Picked him on Tapology, picked him on What's the other app that I kept talking about before that? Verdict, of course. Can't believe I forgot that. I'm on there all the time. Verdict, picked him on Verdict there. I mean, yeah, I had some money on him too. I knew it. Actually, to be honest, I didn't know it. I would just say, I figured there was about a 50-50 shot. We got it. We got it. And especially after that, him saying the whole grappling thing, like, the whole rib thing, and he literally couldn't grapple for weeks before that. I mean, like, that's crazy. And the fact that it actually worked out that way, magic. Truly, when I was watching it, I never got a chance to see, obviously Connor. Well, I mean, maybe I could have seen Connor live. It's not like I'm super young or something like that. But no, I didn't. Didn't get to see Connor come up live. Beat Aldo, beat Alvarez, and those guys and everything like that. But when I saw Suga get that win, it really did feel like something super special and super crazy. It really did. I don't know. Again, maybe I'm being silly, but I truly felt when I was watching that, I was like, that was a holy shit moment that I will never forget. Incredible to watch. Couldn't believe that he actually finally made it happen. I've been a fan for a while, obviously. I mean, clearly I'm a fan. I mean, yeah, amazing. Amazing to see that happen. But, yeah, I mean, I can't even think of all of the fights that I missed that we missed since then. I mean, my goodness. Oh, you got the moment ruined for you, but it was oh, that sucks. Why? What happened? Please tell me you were watching it live. Because, yeah, if you found out in whoops, oh, the whole thing's cutting out on me, my goodness. Of course, we have to have internet problems. It's just what happens to me here. But yeah, what happened though? What happened? Did you find out about it after? Didn't see it live or something like that? That would suck. That would suck. Thankfully, I was by myself and I saw it live, so nothing could have ruined that. Amazing. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, but yeah, it's kind of hard to remember all of the other fights that happened. I mean, I'll take a quick scroll back since we're here. I mean, maybe look at it for like 5 minutes or so, then get into this week's card. Oh yeah, Singapore. Oh my goodness. The Korean zombie moment. Oh my goodness. I mean, after the fight, that whole thing. I mean, it was incredible. That really was something else watching that. I actually started to tear up. I really, really did when I was watching the package and then, and him after with his wife and the whole just everything. I mean, it was like, wow, this is something else. It really was. I mean, brutal. And I knew that was going to, and I knew something like that was going to happen. Not necessarily the knock. Well, actually, I did originally have Holloway knockout, changed it to a decision. Regret that completely because it lost me a head to head battle. If I would have kept it, I would have won anyway. But, yeah, that was brutal to see. I mean, obviously we all knew Holloway was going to win, but then to see him just absolutely demolish the Korean zombie like that was like, oof. I could have gone without kind of seeing that a little bit. I mean, you don't want to see a beloved person like that go down like that. Um, oh yeah, Aaron Blanchfield winning like that. Rinya Nakamura, absolute fucking stud. By the way, did anybody watch Road to UFC? My goodness. I will say these last two episodes were not as good as the first four of this season. And well, let's see what R&R said here. I watched the whole card live and I got a call and left. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. He gets the call in between rounds, misses the moment of the win for O'Malley. That definitely does suck. That really does suck. Pause. You gotta learn to pause. It doesn't matter if you see things 5 minutes after they happen. Just pause. It is worth it. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to miss something like that. So that's what I do. I mean, sometimes I watch things hours after they happen. I just don't go online and then it's like I'm watching it live. But even if you don't want to do that, you just pause it for 2 minutes, take the phone call, then go back. Lesson learned. Don't do that again for sure. The Korean zombie Robbie Lawler, yes. Oh, the Robbie Lawler one. I mean, yeah, that was insane how that was one of the best moments for sure too. But yeah, the Glover retirement, I can't remember, which is, I guess, really the point you're trying to make. I honestly can't really remember what happened. I can't even remember who he fought, to be honest. Was that the one in Brazil where he retired and then like literally everybody just walked out and then there was like nobody left in the I think that's the one, right? I'm thinking that's the one it was. Because I remember I was actually thinking of that too when I was watching the Korean Zombie one. I was like, man, remember when that one in Brazil retired? I couldn't remember who it was. I think it was Glover though. I was like, oh man, remember in Brazil when the whole fucking stadium just walked out on him when he was retiring? Like, what? But yeah, I mean, to see Korean Zombie, the whole, oh my God. Oh, the singing, of course, of Zombie too. My God. I mean, yeah, incredible. Yeah, and it was Brazil. Yeah. That's what I thought. Yeah, I mean, the juxtaposition of that was crazy. I mean, that Brazil crowd was garbage, let's be honest. That might be the worst crowd I've seen in the last, well, since I've started watching, which is like, I don't know, 3 years, I guess, of every single card. That might be the worst crowd I've ever seen. Truly might be. But yeah, Singapore. Then before that, of course, UFC 292, Suga, Wei Li, of course, absolute fucking monster. Saw that one coming as well. I mean, a mile away. She is so unbelievably good. It is crazy. Ian Gary, of course. No surprises there at all. The only surprise was that he was kind of beefing with Magny. That was kind of weird, to be honest. I didn't really like that. Yeah, just for disrespectful for sure. For Brazil, disrespectful for sure. I don't know if they don't deserve a card for a while. I don't even know. I don't even know how you would get around that. I mean, I don't know what was going on there. It was just so bizarre. I don't know. It was just so bizarre to be in that to watch that kind of environment, considering Brazil is always so good when they go there. Like I've seen replays of other cards. I've seen how good Brazil is. But yeah, to then see that, it was like, what is happening? This is so weird. Maybe they just need to go to a different part. Like maybe not go to Rio, they go somewhere else. I don't know. I mean, where else would they go, I guess, but because that's kind of the hub of it for sure. I don't know where they would go, but yeah, maybe just go somewhere else in Brazil or something like that. I don't really know. Or maybe it was the timing. You never know. The time of day always affects it. It was a weird time of day there. I remember them saying it was was it super late or super early? I can't remember. But I think that might have had something to do with it too. They were saying some small things like that. I don't know. You never know. I hope the next time they go there, it ends up way better, though, obviously. But yeah, the whole Ian Gary Magny beef was a little bit weird and, and uncomfortable. Don't really know why he needed to do that. But Ian Gary, stud, obviously, as always, knew he was going to dominate like that. Before that, what did we have here before that? Vegas. Oh yeah, the tough finale too. Little surprised by the tough finale. I mean, Katona, saw that one coming. I picked him. He seems, oh my goodness. I mean, after he beat Timur, I was like, okay, he's gonna win the whole show. That was pretty obvious. Hollabot was surprising, I will say. That I did not see that one coming. I really thought that who was the other guy? Hubbard. Yeah, I thought Hubbard was gonna win that for sure. So that was surprising. Before that, yeah, Vegas card. Was there anything interesting on there? Let's see. Not really. Oh, McKinney was back. That was nice. Yeah, it was good to see McKinney get a good win there because he's one of those guys that it's all a mental thing for Terrence, I would say, where if he's not 100% mentally in it, I just don't know if he can win. But when he is 100% in it and he's just himself, that wrecking ball, I mean, it's crazy to watch. And he seems to want to be doing that from now on forever. So, yay. Fight fans rejoice. That's going to be incredible to watch him from now on since he's going back to that style permanently, supposedly. Nashville before that, that was good. What was that? Oh, Sandhagen. Yeah, weird performance, but dominant. I mean, I don't know why everybody was so upset about the Sandhagen font one. I mean, I get it. Like, it's not a striking, it wasn't that striking battle, but it's like, bruh, Sandhagen is a mixed martial artist. He is not just a pure striker. you know, you got, he's good. He's just really good. So, I mean, if font can't hold up with the grappling, that's what's going to happen. You're just going to see somebody dominate like that. Andrade before that, I mean, Tatiana Suarez being an absolute beast. That's going to be great to see from now on. And then, 291, my goodness. Oh, that's right. It was just before the BMF belt that I left. That's right, right. Yeah, so the BMF belt, that was incredible too. My goodness. BMF, Justin Gaethje, by the way, also made that pick. I mean, that seemed pretty obvious to me. I don't know why everybody was thinking Poirier was such an obvious person to win that fight. I don't know. I thought it was pretty clear Gaethje should have seemed to be the obvious pick. I mean, he's higher pace. He seems to be more durable from what I've seen in the recent fights anyway. Seems to be more skilled, more well-rounded. I don't know. He just seemed like, yeah, that was the obvious thing that was going to happen to me anyway. I don't know. I think people are just getting kind of thrown by the whole, I guess what you could call like the McGregor effect, really. I mean, Poirier beats McGregor twice and everybody thinks he's the GOAT. It's like, bruh, I don't know. Like, I mean, he's good, obviously, but not that great. I mean, fuck. He's definitely top 5, don't get me wrong, but like he's not going to win a title, that's all. I mean, Gaethje could though. That's really I hope they give him a title shot soon. I really do think he deserves it for sure. And then London before that, that was the last card that we talked about here, which of course, Tommy Aspinall, hero of the night. I mean, my God, knew that was going to happen 100% of the way, went all in on him. I said that back then. I mean, we had, how many units did I have? I had 7 units on him and he was minus 350. So it was like I gained 2 full units on just Aspinall winning right there. I had Aspinall in the first round, Aspinall most strikes, Aspinall sub. I had all 3. Actually, no, that's right. He didn't end up getting the sub, so I didn't cash that one in. But he got the most strikes. He got a knockout in the first round. I mean, cashed it in beautifully. Never a fucking doubt at all. He is truly something else. He is truly something else. He really is. And yeah, that's pretty much the whole recap, I guess, of the past month and a half. Cool. That was like 10 minutes, but we had to recap a little bit, I guess. But now we're moving. Actually, I'm going to have a nice little sip of water now that I've done that huge recap. Now we're going to get into UFC Paris, which, by the way, they revamped the whole Bet99 website, and I didn't know that until now because I hadn't been on it because I was using a different site a little bit. Yeah, so this is really weird to see and navigate through. That's great. I don't know if all the fights are even on here either. It's kind of hard to tell. I don't really know. I'm not sure if I actually like what they did here, but we'll deal with it. I do like, though, that they made everything a little bit smaller so it fits better. Anyway, let's see. First fight of the night, Zara Farn. Oh, I should actually go back to... Oh, my goodness. Actually, yeah, that's not great. Oh, can I do that, maybe? Ooh. Oh, no. I'm just trying to make my window smaller so I can see everything here, including the chat. There we go. Okay. Yeah, it's a weird website because as soon as you start messing with the window, everything fucks up the entire website. Anyway, now that everything's back in place, we're good. Okay, so Zara Farron. Oh my goodness, what's the other name? Don't have everything set up. See, this is what happens when we're out of it, you know? We're just completely out of it. Jacqueline Cavalcanti from Portugal. Uh yeah, I mean, people, this is one of the most lopsided ones on the entire card in terms of the odds. But I will say, actually, oh, what the fuck? Oh my god. Keyboard fell, the whole thing is fucked up now. My god. What a disaster. Okay. It's back. So Zara Farn, Jacqueline Cavalcanti. The odds, I believe this is actually the most lopsided one of the entire card, but I gotta say, and I mean on paper I can see why. Zara Farn 6-5, Cavalcanti 5-1. But I got to admit, if you actually watch their fights, Farn actually looked pretty good in her last fight, which was in Paris. She actually looked really good. To be fair, she was going against somebody much shorter than her. So that definitely would have helped a lot. But yeah, she also gassed out quite a bit um in the end of the first round and then the second round and third. I mean, she did make it to the final bell, if you know, to give her some credit. But yeah, it was rough there for a while. And Cavalcanti, she's like what, 15 years younger than her. I mean, like, again, I understand the odds on this one, but I really don't think it's actually as one-sided as they're making it out to be, because Farron actually does have an outside chance of winning this. But you know, you definitely got to go with Cavalcanti on this, and because she is that high in the odds, which I can now say minus 370. That's what she's at right now. You know, we're throwing her in the parlays, of course, and you got to bring it down. Farron, I mean, she was knocked out in the first round a couple of times. So, I mean, we could see that, but she's also that's always been at featherweight. This is at bantamweight. She also has a hard time making bantamweight, which is interesting that she's even doing this. Cavalcanti only really fights at bantamweight. She's not huge, so I actually don't really know if she can get a KO. That's why I'm kind of bringing down the odds by saying Cavalcanti decision. That's what I'm going to be doing. Yeah. Oh, wow. And then actually, now that I'm looking at the odds, that makes even more sense, which I should have done. Again, we're out of practice here. I'm not fully back into things yet in terms of this part of it. So yeah, minus 370 for Jacqueline Cavalcanti, plus 290 for Farah Oh wow, what am I saying? Zara Farn. Farazard. Wow. Amazing. What was I gonna say? Over under is at 2.5, which is very interesting considering the fact that she has been finished that early before and she's facing somebody a lot younger, which is why we're taking the under 2.5. And by the way, Zara Farn also almost got a finish in her last fight, which was just last year. Like I said, I mean, and I think that's honestly her strategy, because I think that she realizes she can't really win a decision. So she kind of seems to want to just go for the finish. And then if she doesn't get it, then whatever. That honestly seems like the approach. So I would actually say pretty confidently that the under is the way to go on this for sure. I mean, the age difference, everything. Cavalcanti definitely could get a finish here, but also Farron. Farron might be able to get a finish here if the debuting Cavalcanti isn't really quite as good as people think she is. I think she was pretty good, but you know, the size really is Farron is pretty big. So I don't know. That being said, you know, minus 110, under 2.5. That's just the clear way to go. I like it. Then we've got an incredible fight. Honestly, I mean, like, this is an unreal fight. I love this. Fareed Basharat, Clayton Rodriguez. Unfortunately, this is another person that misses weight quite a bit. I mean, we got Farron missed weight Yeah, Rodriguez has missed weight twice, I believe. Where I need to go to see these stats here on Tapology because they actually put in the new features, by the way. I don't know if everybody noticed that, but they put in a bunch of new features here. Yeah, Farn, lots of canceled bouts, missed weight a couple of times. Cavalcanti, oh wait, not Cavalcanti, that's not who I was looking at. Clayton Rodriguez, missed weight twice in a row now. Had his fight canceled against Tatsuro Taira because he missed weight by 4 pounds. And Shannon Ross missed weight there too in that fight as well. But he's going up to bantamweight now, which definitely is very interesting. And I think that is actually where he belongs. And I think he would actually be very good up there because he's still very young. If he uses his size more, maybe the cardio too, is a little bit better now that he doesn't have to cut weight as much. I think he'll be a lot better up here. That being said, I mean, the both of the brothers, honestly, the Basharat brothers are just unreal. They are so good, and I would actually say this is the better Basharat brother because he has not even looked like he's ever really in trouble. And I mean, Damone Blackshear was who I think that's who he went against last time. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's right. He's the one with only one fight. Right. So yeah, he had the fight against Damone Blackshear. Not a crazy spectacular fight, but it was like he dealt with Damone Blackshear's grappling fairly easily. I mean, he shut down the takedowns quite a bit, shut down the submissions, obviously, because he ended up winning, and then just, did pretty well on the feet to just dominate in the decision. I, I would say it's going to be the exact same this time because Rodriguez is pretty much is very actually very similar to Blackshear in that he's a very heavy grappler and dangerous on the ground and kind of more also on the feet too. But yeah, so if Basharat can handle all that, he can easily handle all this, especially since he has already been fighting at bantamweight the entire time and dealing with people like that. Whereas Rodriguez is just coming up. We don't even know how he's going to deal with somebody bigger like that. So yeah, I mean, Basharat's the obvious choice here. And again, that would be another parlay opportunity. And we will be doing, of course, Basharat by decision because he gets a lot of decisions. Rodriguez also, I don't know if he's ever been finished. Let's see here. No, he's never been finished. That would also make sense too. That being said, we will put a little bit of money on the under because new weight class. There, you never know, really. I mean, I don't know. I think there's an outside chance at a finish. Plus 160, I'll take the chance. I'll take a little bit of a little bit of risk there for plus 160 in this scenario. Then we've got the ladies, Nora Cognoy and Jocelyn Edwards. I had to think about that. Yeah, Nora from France. Late replacement, by the way. This was supposed to be. I'm looking at it and I don't see it. Oh, and actually, no. Maybe this wasn't the late replacement. Really? I was pretty sure actually that this was. Maybe they just didn't put this on here. Really? Oh, never mind. I take that back. She was not a late replacement. That was the other one. Zara Farn. So Cavalcanti is the late replacement in that fight, which again is another reason why Farn, you might want to take a little bit, just a little bit, just put a little bit on Farn because she was the one expecting to fight here, not Cavalcanti. So that is another thing to pay attention to. Anyway, back to this. Oh yeah. I was watching the tape on Nora here, and I gotta be honest, the record, I mean 5-1, that's good. Or 6-1, sorry, that's pretty good. But I watched the fights And yeah, it wasn't great. Also, she ended up winning. Oh, R&R's back here. Good to see, good to see. We're already knee deep into the picks here. Yeah, so we're on the ladies now, Nora. But yeah, I watched the last fight. It was one of the weirdest things I've ever seen, actually. It was like she was kind of doing okay in her last fight. This was in UAE Warriors March 17th. So this was a while ago. Um, Looked okay. I mean, not really doing a whole lot, a little bit small for the weight class. And then what happened was she ended up winning, well, yeah, 2.5 minutes in because her opponent took a weird step and like her knee she literally just went no, my knee, I can't, and then they just walked away, and then the fight was over 2.5 minutes in. So I was like, okay, well, that's not a win. She literally didn't do anything. It was actually, she even just took a bad step. It wasn't a kick. It literally was nothing. She literally just took a bad step and just gave up. So it was kind of like, well, that's not a win. Uh, and the all of her other wins, let me tell you all of her other wins here. So that was her only win over somebody with a half decent record because she was 4-2 that last one. Before that, her opponent was 0-0. So never fought. Beat her in 2.5 minutes. Beat somebody who was 12-10. 1-0, 2-0, 3-2. And then lost to Cavalcanti of all people before that. So record, not great. Looked small in there, kind of low pace, didn't really do a whole lot. And Jocelyn Edwards kind of proved a whole lot of people wrong in her last fight. Not me, because I picked her, but she looked really good in her last fight, like way better in her last fight. That was again, actually, no, that's right. I didn't pick her, lol. I picked Pujilova because of the grappling. Or did I? Now I actually don't know who I picked. My goodness, I need to check. Let's see. Tell me who I picked. Tell me who I picked, Tapology. I did pick Pujilova. My bad. But I did figure it was going to be close. But in this case, I really don't actually think it's going to be as close. I really do think that Edwards should be able to win this. I mean, she's got the experience. She's clearly way more motivated now. Like, she's really been working on some things. She's way bigger than Cournoy, and she also missed weight twice in a row. I mean, the weight misses on this card are unreal. We got Clayton Rodriguez missed weight twice. Zara Farron missed weight. Jocelyn Edwards missed weight twice. And then there's also, I think later in the card too, there's a couple more that missed weight a few times in a row too. It was like, what is happening with the people on this card? In fact, actually, one guy on this card was originally supposed to fight at 135 and then actually switched, and now he's fighting at 145 in a fight. So he actually switched opponents on the same card because he switched weight classes on it. So yeah, the weight classes, I mean, it's just a bizarre card for that kind of thing. You don't normally see this many weird things going on like that. But yeah, anyway, the point is I think Edwards has a very good chance of winning this fight. And it's pretty much even in the odds. She's at minus 115. By the way, just letting you know, I looked at this last week or last night on a different site. I mean, it was a different site to be fair. So I don't know if it's trending in this direction or if it's just the difference between the two sites. But Edwards was a bigger favorite last night when I was looking at it. So I don't know if it's just trending in the other direction because the other woman's French. Maybe they're seeing something, or maybe, they're just going away from Edwards and we're going to capitalize on an underdog here. But if it is trending in that direction, I would definitely wait it out and get Edwards at the best price he can because, yeah, I really do feel good about her winning this one, especially since, like I said, the other one's making her debut. Edwards is a higher pace, tough person to deal with, especially when you're not really that active of a striker. So I like it. I like Edwards in this one. Next one, Angelosa, Reese McKee. This might be a little closer than people realize, I think. The odds, they're a little close. They're not like, out of control. They're getting to the point where it's like we might need to put Losa in some parlays. But this really was a tough one for me to choose. But then I kind of watched over McKee's last couple fights in Cage Warriors because he was cut. That has convinced me to go in the Losa direction, but I will say it's definitely closer than it looks, I would say, especially considering the size of McKee. That really is the massive difference here. Let me tell you what the size difference is here because it's noticeable for sure. McKee is 6'2", 78, 78-inch reach. 6'2" for Reese McKee. And if you go towards Angelosa, he is 5'10", 5'10", and a 74-inch reach. So he has a similar reach, definitely shorter, but way shorter in height for sure, which is a bit of a problem. But and I was really considering picking McKee, and I think I might throw a little bit on him. What did I ultimately decide there? Did I decide to put it? No, I didn't. I think it was just because I ended up going with the speed and power of Losa. I just think that he's more well-rounded and he's also a little more active with his striking and definitely much faster. But he does tire out, which is the problem because what happens with people against McKee, he wins by losing the first round or two and then knocking them out in the third and winning in the third round, which is very concerning when Angelosa does tend to get a lot slower as the fight goes on. So that is a little bit concerning because that really does play into McKee's general approach to fights. So there is a part of me that wants to go put a little bit of money on McKee, but I gotta say, I don't know. When you watch the two, it's pretty obvious that Losa should win this fight, I would say. So I feel like I have to go in that direction with Losa, but I don't know. There is definitely a part of me that thinks, late Reese McKee KO, plausible. I don't know. But yeah. So I guess actually to balance that out, which is what I usually do anyway, the way to balance that out would be then Angelosa decision. Makes sense. And then balance that out with putting a little bit on under 2.5. Because then if McKee does get his KO, doesn't kill you. Doesn't absolutely destroy your entire, you don't lose as much money that way. So I would say we'll probably go in that direction, or maybe we'll just go Losa straight up. He is at minus 180, like I said. So we're getting to that minus 200 line where you kind of have to go towards the parlays. So we'll keep an eye on that. I think that'll kind of change as the odds change. But I do like balancing it out with the under for sure. And he could get a KO too. I mean, Losa is pretty good. The power's there, I mean, and the speed. Speed, power, could get the KO. Then we've got an interesting one with two debuting fighters. It is Taylor. Well, actually, I mean, you can't really call Taylor Lapilus, I guess, a debuting fighter because it's like Reese McKee. Is Reese McKee a UFC debuting fighter? They were both in the UFC before. Can you call that a UFC debut? Well, we can debate on that all day. I'm not really sure. Because again, like, are they considered UFC rookies? Like, could they be up for like rookie of the year or something, like rookie of the month, or even anything like that? Could they be up for that? I wonder. Because they're technically not rookies in the UFC anymore because this is the second time they're there. I don't know. Weird to think about. I guess it's up to them. I don't know. Up to the UFC if they want to consider that or not. But yeah, Taylor Lapilus, Kalen, is it? Yeah, I think it's. I knew I was gonna mess this name up. I don't like messing up names, but I already messed this one up. I don't know if it's Keelan or Kalen. I forget. Keelan Lochran? Kalen Lochran? I think it's Kalen. Kalen Lochran? Does that sound right? Fuck, I don't know. Anyway, that's who's fighting in that one. Very exciting, by the way. I watched both of them, and they're both fairly exciting. Actually, do they even have the odds on Bet99 yet for that one? Ugh, these fucking losers. They don't even have it on here. Well, I don't have any odds for that, but I'll give you what I got anyway. Which is they're very close on paper, but I would say even on paper, Kalen Lochran sounds better. I mean, he's undefeated, huge finishes in Cage Warriors. He is absolutely massive. He might be the biggest bantamweight I've ever seen. He is huge. Like, not height, but like size. He really does. He kind of looks like a gorilla. Like, he is like that kind of like just big. Just big. Like Connor looks like right now, kind of. You know what I mean? Go with your version of the name. Yes. We'll go with Keelan Lochran. Sure. Or no, Kalen. We'll go with Kalen. But yeah, what was I gonna say? But yeah, Lapalus on the other site that I was looking at, because they did have it on the other site when I was looking. Lapalus is the favorite right now. I was a little surprised because he was cut from the UFC. There's always a reason behind that. He was cut, and Kalen Lochran is undefeated, huge finishes, and my God, the pace and the striking on this guy, unreal. Truly, this is going to be a very entertaining fight. I cannot wait for this one. He is so exciting and so powerful. The power behind this guy, it's ridiculous. So yeah, I really do think that Kalen's going to win this, or that he's got at least an outside chance just based on his power and experience alone. I mean, sure, like Lapalus has been in the UFC, had a couple fights, went out, but I mean, Kalen's a Cage Warriors bantamweight champion, so he also knocked out Luke Shanks, which is a former Cage Warriors champion, knocked out the last guy for the belt too. I mean, this guy's the real fucking deal. Like, he's getting, championship KOs in Cage Warriors, one of the most respected kind of lower tier ones. So it's a big deal. And I mean, my God, is he going to have the crowd on his side? Holy shit. I don't care if Taylor Lapalus is French and he's in Paris. Actually, no, that's true. That's right. I mean, Lapalus might have the crowd on his side in Paris, but yeah, not chatting too much because I'm pretending to pretending to watch stuff. Oh man, like I don't know what's gonna happen. Yeah, I was actually talking about Tough earlier. I don't. Were you surprised a little bit with the finale? Was not surprised with Katona. I knew that was gonna happen, but I'll admit I was a little surprised that that Hubbard lost that easily too. I mean, it wasn't really even that close, if I'm being honest. Like, I thought he was going to win that pretty convincingly, but yeah, that was weird. Actually, honestly, Hollabach's whole journey through Tough this season was like, what the fuck? Lee Hammond. I mean, the Lee Hammond loss was like, what in the fuck? What was that? My God. I couldn't believe I mean Connor's face said it all, because I was thinking the same thing. I was like, oh man, that's brutal. That is an absolutely brutal way to lose. When you're dominating the fight and then out of nowhere you just get subbed. And your first submission loss too. Fuck. Absolutely brutal. But anyway, enough of Tough. I mean, we don't need to. I'd rather talk about the Tough coaches than anything else. What do we got here? Oh yeah, right. Okay, back to Kalen Lochran. Yeah, I mean, he's the underdog. At least on the site that I was looking at, he was the underdog. I think you should go with Kalen Lochran, honestly. I mean, he's the real deal. Pretty bad. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you mean the whole season. I don't know if the whole season was bad, but yeah, the losses were pretty bad though, or the wins, I would say, for Hollabach were a little, yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh, but yeah, the Katona win though. Easy. As soon as he beat Valieve, I was like, okay, Katona's gonna win this whole show. I don't even know why it was even that close on the odds. Because I thought Katona should have been a huge favorite. To be fair, though, actually, I mean, it was actually a very close fight and a pretty good fight at that. I was a little surprised it was that close. I guess Gibson's just huge, huge. I forget how many people I heard talk about how big he was because they think Suga's pretty big. And I mean, Aljo's huge too. But even Aljo was like, my God, how does Cody Gibson make the weight? He's bigger than I am. Like, he's big. To be bigger than Aljo and still make the weight, I have no idea how you do that. I have no idea. Like, that's crazy. Of course, he's not, I guess, as like beefy as Aljo is. But I mean, if Aljo says you're big for the weight class, you're probably pretty fucking big. Anyway, moving on. So that's the pick there. Oh yeah, and the over under. I mean, we obviously don't know what the over under is set at. We don't have any odds at all. But I'm going with the under. I mean, like I said, Loughran, lots of KOs. Lapilus has been knocked out, I believe. So I'm going with the under 2.5. Might even drop it to the under 1.5 if they're already favoring the under 2.5. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, again, can't do anything with if we don't even know the odds. I can't really help anybody out here at all. But yeah, I do know that Loughran on the other site was the underdog. That's all I know. Then we got another. Actually, well, yeah, no, I was gonna say there's two French guys in this, but that's a different fight. Charrière and I want to say Zucchini, but I know it's Zecchini. Yes, we've got Mr. Zucchini over here, from Italy. Yeah, this is not really. I will be honest though. This is where I stopped watching the tape last night because it was so late that I was just falling asleep, so I couldn't. So everything like this matchup and on, haven't watched tape yet. So there is a chance I could change my picks out slightly, a little bit, but I don't think it's going to change that much after this. This one though, I really didn't watch at all. I don't know anything about either one of these guys other than what's on Tapology, which, to be fair, is convincing me pretty heavily already to pick Shahiel. I mean, he is already a pretty heavy favorite anyway. What's he at right now? Let's see. Minus 330. So clearly he's a pretty heavy favorite. I understand why, because on paper, I mean, Shahiel, he's been fighting on. Actually, why am I doing this off the top of my head with people I don't know? I might as well just look at it right now, just so I get it 100% right. But I do remember seeing that he's not Mr. Zucchini over there. Italian, never really has had a high level fight yet, if we're being real. His last fight was in Venator, which is that Italian promotion, which was against somebody who was 7-3. You know, not awful, but still. Before that, beat somebody who was 12-12 in Venator. Before that, lost to somebody who was 5-0. So that makes sense. And that was also in Venator. So yeah, pretty much exclusively fighting in Venator. Had one fight here in Cage Warriors that he lost. So, I mean, yeah, we can definitely see why Shahiel is the favorite here for sure. Yeah. Whereas Shahiel, huge wins in Cage Warriors, multiple finishes, beat somebody that was Diego. So he beat Diego Silva, who was 15-8. Pedro Souza, 18-4. Split decision win over somebody who's 7-3. Majority decision loss. Split decision loss before that. My God. Yeah. So I mean, really, his losses were. Oh my God. That's so unlucky. He lost one by majority decision and then got a draw, split decision, lost another one majority decision, won a split, and then a few fights later, split decision loss, majority decision loss, Oh, that's brutal. He's fighting these super high level guys and getting losses, but they're all split decisions, draws, and majority decision losses. That is absolutely brutal. So yeah, I can definitely see why Shahrial is a huge favorite going into this one. So I would imagine we're going with Shahrial by finish. Are you serious? Wow, that's crazy. Shahrial by finish. That's how we're going to lower these odds. And if you look at it, the over under is actually even. They are favoring the under a little bit though. So I guess really to make the best of these odds, we'll go crazy with it. Go hard for the finish under 1.5. I think that's the way to go with it because think of it this way. Shahrial, they're both making their debut, so there's no advantages on either side there. Shahrial, huge wins in Cage Warriors, very closely competitive, losses with other people before that. Undefeated people most of the time. Lots of early finishes, and this other guy fights in an Italian promotion and is fighting people that are like 12-12. You know what I mean? Who do you think is going to win? And who do you think is going to get like there should be an early finish here. So I like the under 1.5 if you can find that around. I love it. I love it. So yeah, I guess we're doubling down on a Shahrial finish there, which is okay sometimes when you know. You know. And this is one of those situations where we just know. Moving on. Are we at the main card now? I believe. Yes, we are at the main card now. This is where we have two Frenchmen opening up the main card. And actually, this is the one where I was talking about where he actually fights at bantamweight normally, and he went up to featherweight to fight Gomi here. So William Gomi against a Giannis Gamuri. Yeah. So I'm not liking that. On the other side, I think Gomi should be the obvious choice then. I mean, Gomi is the natural featherweight. He also has looked pretty incredible, if I'm being honest. I mean, he also, by the way, this was the other one who missed weight. Gomi missed weight last time he fought too. I mean, weight misses all over the place for this entire most of the people on this card have weight issues, which is very interesting to see. I mean, these weigh-ins are going to be very interesting. I have a bad feeling that some of these are going to get canceled too, because you've got a lot of people with a history of weight misses. This is going to be a complete mess. Very interested to see what happens on Friday. Which is not usually the case. Normally, I don't even really pay attention to it. I'll see oh, did anybody miss weight? But now this one's I'm actually very curious to see what happens. And I don't think I'll be making very many bets at all until after those weigh-ins. And you might even want to wait on those Tapology picks too. Or just alter them, I guess, if there's any weird weight stuff going on. But anyway, the fact that he kind of dominated Francis Marshall, I was a little bit surprised. I mean, I knew Francis Marshall was not maybe as good as people were thinking he is, but he did really well in that fight. And the other guy, Gamori, by the way, he was also supposed to fight somebody else. Gomi was supposed to fight a different guy. I mean, I don't even know how they made these matchups. I know I keep harping on it, but it's bruh, if you look at the Tapology page for this never really happens. The matchups were all over the place. Some of these people on the card now were supposed to be fighting other people on this card, that are still on this card that canceled but rebooked somebody on the same card. These matchups are all over the place. So yeah, anyway, because Loughran was supposed to fight this guy. Instead, this guy's fighting Gomi now. All over the place. Anyway, I would just imagine, because they're both kind of strikers, Gomi is a very good striker. He's a very awkward but very elite striker. So I have a feeling he's going to pretty easily win this in a decision, I would say. He's not a huge finisher. The other guy also hasn't been finished. And I should really specify who I'm talking about here. I'm talking about Gamori. Gamori hasn't been finished, so I don't know if Gomi is going to be able to do that. That being said, he was fighting at bantamweight, and not only was he fighting at bantamweight, he was scheduled to fight at bantamweight on this exact card. And he is no longer doing that. He is fighting at featherweight. So that already should tell you Gomi is going to have a size advantage. He's also going to have the striking advantage. Finishes definitely do happen when those things overlap, of course. So you could see the under, which is why we are going to go with the under. But if we need to lower the odds, which we might have to do, the pick would be Gomi decision. And of course, Bet 99 does not have that matchup. There you go. Which makes sense again now that I'm thinking about it, because they don't have the Loughran matchup, because again, he was supposed to fight Gamori before this. So I think Bet 99 just hasn't updated anything recently at all. So they still have the original matchups, deleted them, and was like, I haven't put them, just don't put the new matchups yet, I guess. Anyway, where are we here? What did I have for this one? Did I actually not do this one? That's hilarious. That is the only matchup that I did not do this morning. I didn't even notice that I didn't do it. Well, I'm doing it now because I feel like the pick is obvious. Yeah, go me decision, and then we'll bring the odds down with the under 2.5. Because I'm assuming Gomi is going to be a heavy favorite. I believe when I saw that last night on the other website, he was about minus 185-ish. So you would imagine that's going to be going in the minus 200 direction. So yeah, like I said, lower the odds down with the decision. And then, of course, balance it out with the under. Yeah. Moving on. I was thinking of a separate point, which was like, I did say we were going to be cutting down on some of the bets. So I feel like some of these, you don't have to do all of these bets. Maybe like pick and choose the ones that you're like, yeah, these have a really good chance of cashing in. I don't know. Because that's kind of what I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain what I've been doing, because it's like I've been the profits have been going up for sure the last few weeks, but it's because I haven't been fucking internet there. I haven't necessarily been making every single bet that I've been putting down. I've just been picking and choosing. So it's kind of like, which ones in this do I, pick and choose to get rid of and tell people to be like, yeah, this one's probably good. Man, fuck. But also some of them you kind of have to do because of the system. The way the system works out is it's like, well, if one doesn't work, the other will work, and then you get profit either way. Yeah, it's been weird. I don't know. Like I said, it's been weird trying to figure out this system. I mean, we're still early days, I guess, in this. I don't know. Anyway, maybe that's TMI, and maybe I'm selling myself a little bit short here. Anyway, oh my god, it's blinding in here. Look at that. I'm glowing. Moving on. Uzdemir and Gushkov. I have to admit, I don't really know a whole lot about Gushkov, like I said, because I have not had a chance to watch the tape for the main card yet. I do find it interesting. The fact alone that Gushkov is fighting Uzdemir here kind of tells you that they think Gushkov is the real deal here. That being said, Uzdemir was originally supposed to fight Murzakanov on this card, so it definitely is not his original opponent. But I got to admit, on paper, he looks pretty dangerous. He is 14-2. And from what I remember, he had a lot of finishes. Yes, let's see here. Yeah, I mean, they're over nobodies, but they are pretty impressive. I mean, a 30-second finish in both of his last two fights. 4-1, 20-10. Not great records. I just realized, by the way, the blinds are like, you can see that this room has blinds. You can see the lines on me. And now that's funny. Another 4 first round KOs in a row. So clearly very good. But right before that, he lost in the first round to Vyacheslav Vasilevsky, who is 33-6, 33-8 from AMC. And I remember looking at that guy yesterday. He has also lost in the first round, this Vyacheslav guy. So if he was knocked out by him in the first round, and that guy has also been knocked out in the first round multiple times, and you're going against somebody who's top 10 in the UFC, I just have to imagine that you would be picking Oezdemir in this one. Yeah, it would be kind of surprising if he lost, I guess. I still don't really think Oezdemir is that great, but is he going to be losing to somebody that's making their UFC debut and they've lost an AMC before? I mean, I get it, 18-2, that's pretty impressive. Or 14-2, that's still pretty impressive. But I have a hard time believing that Oezdemir is going to lose to somebody like that. Especially when he dominated Paul Craig. Well, of course, Paul Craig is, yeah. I guess that's not saying a whole lot either. Oh, he did beat Rakic, though. That's impressive. So if you beat Rakic, I don't think you're going to lose to this guy. Could be, though. I think what I did on this one is... Oh, I didn't do that. I did that with the ladies later in the co-main. What you could do is you could do Oezdemir finish to bring down the odds on Oezdemir, and then also balance it out with the dog, because then you'd have 2 plus money picks there, which are very likely to cash in either one of those. Yeah, see, Oezdemir is minus 180. I gotta say that's maybe a bit disrespectful to Oezdemir a little bit, because I mean, you gotta admit, again, he's still like, I think he's top 10 ranked anyway. He's top 10 on Tapology, or at least like number 13 here. What is he? Number 11. Well, he's number 11 on Tapology, so that already tells you he's clearly top 15 in the UFC. Yeah, I have a hard time believing Oezdemir would lose that. And they're favoring under 1.5. Minus 135 for under 1.5. I gotta say, I do like the over. I definitely do like the over in this. Oezdemir, a lot of decisions and also a lot of late finishes. So not really one for finishing early. I mean, the other guy does. So I guess that could happen on his side. But even then, let's see. I mean, he was knocked out by Yuri in the second round. So even it took Yuri even to the second round. Lost to Anthony Smith in the third, Daniel Cormier in the second. He's never really been stopped super, super early before. So I'd be a little surprised, actually, if it was a little, under 1.5. I guess because of the experience difference, that's what they're going at. But yeah, I like the over 1.5. I really like that. Plus 105. I love that. And yeah, we'll still go with... Do we want to go with Oezdemir finish then? Probably, right? Probably. I guess he's still under the minus 200 range, so we can still go straight up on Oezdemir for now. But yeah, that might change into something later. Tough choices on this card today. I mean, I guess that's also what happens when I don't have time to do the picks the day before, but still, these are close. These are close. Especially, and this is also, by the way, what happens, you'll notice when there's this many debuts. There are 9 people. I counted last night. There are 9 people that this is their... I can't even say that, actually. There's 9 people that were not fighting in the UFC in their last fight. That's how it should be worded. Because there are a few people that are coming back to the UFC. So I can't really say 9 people are having their first UFC fight. That's not true, but there are 9 people that were not fighting in the UFC before this fight. So that's what tends to happen when you have situations like that, because these debuting fighters, as we've seen lately, can have some shocking upsets. We've seen that quite a bit recently. And I imagine we will see at least one of those in Paris. I'd be surprised, especially like I said, with 9 of them. You got to imagine that at least one or two of those results is going to be like, whoa, I did not see that one coming. Um, yeah, so this is going to be really interesting. Anyway, moving on. I still definitely think Uzdemir is the right choice there, and the over 1.5. Then we've got, oh wow, I was going to say quite possibly the best Frenchman on the roster, and then I realized, oh wait, Cyril Gane's literally in the main event. Idiot. He's obviously the best Frenchman, but I got to admit, Benoit Saint Denis has been absolutely killing it lately. Absolutely fucking killing it. I thought he was going to lose that Bonfim fight for sure. I thought he was fucked in that fight. And I don't know if Bonfim just took him lightly, didn't take the grappling seriously or something, but yeah, that was a brutal loss for Bonfim there. But Saint Denis has looked incredible, so you can't really fault him too much on that, or Bonfim too much on that. But where this gets interesting, though, is of course because it's Moises. And by the way, I didn't know that Moises was still 28. Did anybody know that he was that young still? Truly, I honestly thought he was like, I don't know, 32, 33, 34. I mean, I'm turning 28 in 2 weeks. That's when my birthday is, by the way. 2 weeks from now. So yeah, I am almost the same age as Thiago Moises. I had no idea. No fucking clue. So yeah, I don't know. I'm really back and forth on this one because Moises really does have a good chance in this. Because let's be honest, like, I mean, Saint Denis did win that last one. Is that because Bonfim didn't really take it as seriously as he maybe should have? I don't know. And he lost. I mean, Saint Denis lost pretty handily in that debut. I mean, that was one of the most uncomfortable fights I've ever seen, for sure. Still to this day, I'll never forget watching that fight in Fight Island where Saint Denis was making his debut, and that ref literally almost killed him, for sure. Like, genuinely, Saint Denis almost died in that octagon, for sure, because of that ref. So I'll never forget that. They had dominated in that fight. So Thiago Moises is pretty good. I mean, I don't know why he's the underdog here. I guess because Saint Denis in France, he's been looking really good. I feel like people are pretty high on him, but you can't go against Thiago Moises like that. I don't know. So I got to give him the bit of doubt. I will put a little bit of money on Thiago Moises. I will put some money on the dog on this one. Plus 140 is Thiago Moises right now. You got to do it. You got to, I mean, like, he's only lost to Joel Alvarez by knockout, which was devastating, pretty devastating. And before that, lost to Islam. It's Islam. I mean, really. But yeah, before that, I mean, pretty solid. Pretty solid before that. So yeah, I don't know. He's definitely got a chance. I'll just put a little bit on there. I don't know who I'll go with on Tapology. I might still go with Saint Denis. But in terms of the betting, I feel like you got to go put a little bit on the underdog in this case, in Thiago Moises. The over-under, I got to go with the over. I got to go with the over. I mean, Moises, decent amount of decisions. Yes, he's in a lot of finishes, but they're very similar. So they're not really powerful strikers. So I don't really see a knockout coming. And I would be pretty shocked. Of course, I said this about Bonfim too, but I would be pretty shocked if Saint Denis was able to submit Moises when Moises literally competes in professional jiu-jitsu. I mean, he was on, where was it here? Yeah, I mean, he was fighting, I don't know what they call jujitsu bouts, I forget what they call those. Rolling, I don't know. He was doing that against Wagner Rocha, Rocha, who I know is supposed to be one of the best jujitsu people on the planet. So if he was competing against him, and by the way, also did not get finished by him, because it says he lost here by points in a decision. You got to imagine he's not going to get finished by Benoit Saint Denis if he's not getting finished by one of the best BJJ guys on the planet right now. I would be a little surprised. So yeah, I'm going over on this one, over 2.5, and that's at plus 100. Put some money on that. Put some money on that. That is a good looking plus 100. That is for sure. But yeah, still a little bit on the fence for Moises and the actual matchup itself, though. But I feel like I gotta go, which is why you should be going with the dog. If it's that close, go with the dog anyway. Moving on. Where are we now? Last two. Co-main. Well, last two fights, I should say, not last two people. This is something that I might need to really look at the tape a lot more, but I don't think there's any real way to know what's going to happen in this fight. This is such a weird matchup. When I heard it was happening, I was like, "What?" I was so confused. I was like, "What do you mean Rose is fighting Fiorot? Like, what?" Like, I'm so confused. Like, what is happening here? So I don't really know what to expect from this because Rose is not somebody who fights the same. She never fights the same way. She's always really well-rounded and kind of tailors her fights to who she's fighting. So I don't really know what kind of that, and that's kind of why I'm thinking like I don't really know what to expect in this. Which I mean is kind of why you probably should put a little bit of money on Rose too, by the way. I mean, like, there's a reason she won the belt twice. Like, she is good. Um, and we know that Fiorot doesn't really have that experience. So I could see Rose winning this, but I mean, the size difference, that's what gets me because I still struggle to see how Fiorot even makes this weight properly because she is massive. She is huge. Like, she really should be fighting a bantamweight, probably. Like, she is a true bantamweight. She is big. So to see Rose fighting like that when she's at 115 normally, I know she's a big 115er, and she will fit in, I'm sure, at 125. But against one of the bigger 125ers, I don't know. Like, this is basically, it's similar to fighting somebody like Blanchfield or something like that. It's like, bro, like, they're so much bigger than you. Like, I don't know. I just, that's why I keep going back and forth on it because it's like I feel like Rose should win because she clearly has the skill and the fight IQ, the experience. She has everything way over top of Fiorot, but Fiorot is just so big. Like, how do you overcome that? I don't know. And that's why I feel like I've settled on Fiorot in this, but man, I don't know. And I think that's why I ended up actually, that's what I did. This is where I split it because I truly could not tell. I still don't know what's going to happen. And I feel like nobody truly knows what's going to happen because it's a new weight class for Rose like this. Nobody really knows what to expect. I mean, they think they know because Fiorot is so big, but you never know. You truly never know. Especially with Rose being so good on the ground. We've never really seen Fiorot on the ground. Like, has nobody realized that yet? We've never really seen her do anything on the ground. So what if Rose literally just somehow they get on the ground and just chokes her out immediately? Like, Rose is competing in BJJ as well. Like I just said about Moises, Rose is fighting in BJJ, is competing in BJJ as well. So it's like, like they get on the ground and then suddenly Rose is dominating. dominating. I would be surprised if she didn't win on the ground, but can she even get it down there? That's why it's like back and forth, back and forth. I have no idea what's going to happen. So what I ended up doing was I went Fiorot decision because I would be pretty surprised if Rose was finished by Fiorot. I would find that pretty surprising actually, because I don't know if Rose has even been finished, other than of course that disgusting slam by Jessica Andrade. I don't know if she's ever been knocked out like that. She was submitted once. Yeah, that was it. So yeah, it was just that slam by Jessica Andrade. That's the only time she's ever been knocked out. And the pace too. Like that's another thing is because we know Rose is obviously going to have a cardio advantage given her size and everything like that. And she's literally never had cardio issues ever before, even. So that's not going to change, which is, you know what I'm saying? Like this keeps going back and forth. And I know I've circled around it like, oh, I did this, I did this. What I did was, and I will actually say it this time because I'm not getting distracted. I went Rose because she's the dog. So I had a plus money on that. And then I also went Fiorot decision. That's how I balanced it out because I can't see Rose getting finished. And I could see Rose winning. So both of those should be at plus money, which would then make this a viable strategy of betting both sides, technically, because I just can't see Fiorot getting a finish. So that minus 175 number should then drop below the plus with a decision. I don't know. I mean, it should. Will it? I don't know. Let's see. Nope. It doesn't tell me. Bet 99. Motherfucker. But I would imagine that would do it. Going with a Fiorot decision, that should be plus money. And then Rose just winning in general is plus money for sure because she's the dog. I like that. I like that system because I truly cannot tell what's going to happen. Or actually, oh well, that's I was actually going to say maybe balance it out with the under, which is at plus 160 right now. But that could be a good idea. Anyway, I don't know. There's so many options. Again, this is a weird card. This actually is a weird card for real. Like, I mean, really think about, like I said, all those weight things, people changing weight classes, 9 debuts. This is a weird card for sure. And then the main event. I gotta say, I'm a little surprised. Just a tad surprised that Cyril Gane is kind of running away with being a favorite here. Minus 170 right now. It just seems like people aren't even paying attention. You know what I mean? Like, did you not just see that he got submitted in, like absolutely he didn't I mean, John Jones made him look like he literally didn't even know what grappling was. That's how bad that was. And I mean, Ngannou, that grappling, like we saw him get out grappled there. I realize obviously Ngannou is fucking huge, but it's Spivak style. He grapples hard the whole time. That is his strategy. He doesn't strike. He does not like striking. He will clinch and grapple you, take you down, do whatever he can to take you down. Gane is not good at that. I like Gane. I'm a fan. I want him to win. Actually, I very much want him to win, especially considering this is in Paris. But you got to admit, this is not a good style matchup for him at all. At all. This is a terrible style matchup for Cyril Gane. So I have to go with Sergey Spivak on this. Plus 145. I have to, because of the grappling alone. Like, we have not seen Cyril Gane be able to grapple yet. We literally straight up have not seen him be able to grapple yet. So I don't know where this betting line is coming in other than the fact that he just had a title shot against John Jones and it's in Paris. That is the only reason how I could possibly see that he's the favorite. But if you go based on the actual skills and on paper, everything, I would be surprised if Gon won this a little. And I mean, let's go to Spivak. What's been happening with him recently? I mean, arm triangle in 3 minutes with Derek Lewis, ground and pound second round Augusto Sakai, first round knockout Greg Hardy, got obliterated by Aspinall, which is understandable. Everybody, that is going to happen. I truly believe that. Everybody, every single person in the heavyweight division right now will get smoked by Aspinall at some point. He's just way too good. Way better than everybody else. It is not even close. So that made sense. And before that, I mean, was in 2020 when he lost. That was the last time he lost before that. So I don't know. I think he's got a very, very good chance of winning this fight against Cyril Gane. Yeah. So that's where I'm going with that, especially considering it's it's 5 rounds. It's the main event. So right? Yeah, it's 5 rounds. That favors him even more because of the grappling. He's not going to stop. Like, he will keep doing that. Rounds 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's going to keep doing it. So I just don't really know how Gane's going to get away from that. I mean, if he might be able to shut it down a little bit. And then after a while, we'll just get swept up by all the grappling and start to get dominated. Or maybe he'll get dominated for the first few rounds and then shut the takedowns down at the end. I mean, there's usually one of two ways that ends up happening. Either the grappler gets stronger throughout the fight because the other guy's slowing down, or grappler gets slower throughout the fight because then he starts shutting the takedowns down. Depends. This is heavyweight too. I mean, there's a lot of things up in the air in this when you got the style going on for sure. But yeah, you got to go with Sergey Spivak though. Plus 145 especially. I mean, yeah, you got to go for it. The over under, well, you got to go with the over. I mean, it's at over under 2.5 rounds right now. They're favoring the under 2.5 at minus 160. Well, you got to go with the over. I mean, like, let's even just go based on, like, let's look at Cyril Gane's record for, I mean, just for good measure. Like, let's just see what happened. I mean, like, finished by John Jones, 2 minutes. Yep. Terrible. Oh yeah, he did get the knockout Tai Tuivasa, 3rd round. Okay. Late 3rd round though, so that actually still would not have that would not have cashed in the under 2.5. That was still over 2.5. Ngannou, of course, 5 rounds. Derek Lewis, 4th minute of the 3rd round, still over 2.5. Volkov, decision. Rosenstrike, decision. Yeah, I mean, this fight should be going longer. And Spivak is pretty durable too. Oh, yeah, I'm not really sure where this under, I guess because it's heavyweight, they're thinking under 2.5. But yeah, over 2.5 looks really good. Really, really good in this. Plus 100. Love it. Absolutely love that. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong. Lol. I was looking at the wrong one. Still over under 2.5. I was looking at Moises. The number is plus 125, though. That's what I was supposed to be looking at. Plus 125 for over 2.5. Love that. Love that. Plus 145. Both plus money. Spivak, plus 145. Over 2.5. Plus 125. I'm getting tired. I'm also getting delusional. Getting hungry. Falling apart. We're almost done, though. I mean, actually, that is it. Well, that was it. But we'll get into the parlays, though, quickly. I already did make the parlays. Again, it might change a little bit because of watching some tape later, so maybe the letters will change a little bit. But so far, I gotta go with Basharat. I really do think he should be the biggest favorite on the card because he's just that good. Who else do I have here? Shahriel. Ooh, that's true. I might be flipping Basharat and Shahriel, to be fair. That might be where I might be switching it around, which means the sniper pick might change. The sniper pick might be Shahriel. It might be Basharat. It's one of those two though. So those are A and B. I know that. C, I'm going with Gomi. He's the true featherweight in this. The other guy's small. And Gomi's the guy that's been around in the UFC for a little bit. Looked really good against Marshall. I just would imagine he's going to win. So that's C. D is Cavalcanti. And the only reason I put her lower is because I truly do think that Farron still has a kind of an outside chance of winning. Uzdemir, I have an E because somebody named Gushkov, who's 14-2. There's something about a name like that that makes me a little bit nervous, especially when it's somebody like Uzdemir that isn't necessarily one of the true top contenders. That worries me a little bit. So that's why I put him at E. And then all the way at F, right in the bottom slot there for me is Edwards. And I'm struggling to remember. Oh, yeah, Jocelyn Edwards. I was like, who is named Edwards on this card? Jocelyn Edwards, because of the experience and because she's looked pretty good in her last couple fights. And she will more than likely be overweight in this fight and have a weight advantage. By the way, the other one, like I said, I actually said that already. She's not really the biggest bantamweight, the other one. So the fact that Jocelyn Edwards is like struggling to make weight already, that's concerning for the other person. This is a bantamweight, right? Yeah. Let me see. Just checking. Just checking now. Hold on. Where is this? What? Oh, there it is. Yeah, bantamweight. Did she fight flyweight? No. I was trying to see if the other one fought at flyweight at some point. Doesn't look like it. Looks like she's just been bantamweight. But yeah, she's definitely not. Like there's different kinds of female bantamweights. There's bantamweights that are like, I can't really comfortably make flyweight, or maybe I'm just not good enough to be at flyweight, so I'll just fight at bantamweight and be really good there, top 50, or well, there's no top 15 at bantam. Well, actually, though, bantamweight does have rankings, doesn't it? Yeah. And then there's bantamweights that are like, fuck, like I really want to compete at featherweight, but there's basically no featherweight division. That's Jocelyn Edwards. She's so big that she struggles to get down to 135. That's also like Norma Dumont, actually. Because I would say Norma Dumont is the uncrowned 145 champ. I really do think that. Just give her the belt, to be honest. I truly still believe that. I think I said this on the program here before. But I still think just give Norma Dumont the 145 belt, or make, I don't know, just some kind of fight, like her next fight or something. Just make it for the belt. Don't even care who it's against. Norma Dumont versus anybody for the featherweight belt. Norma Dumont wins. She's the featherweight champ. Good for you. That's what I honestly think should happen, because she's clearly way better than everybody over there, and she's kind of too big to make 135. And yeah, this is another person that's kind of like that. There are a few like that, which is why we don't normally see them very often, because we don't want to see weight misses, but we also have a hard time making featherweight fights. They're in that awkward position in the UFC where it's like that. Yeah. And the French woman here is not like that. She's a lot smaller. Edwards is huge. Got to go with that. That's my F1. Anyway, so that means ABC, our main parlay, the triple play, is Basharat, Shahriel, and Gomi. That will not change. ADF, Basharat, Cavalcanti, Edwards. So that might change a little bit. BCE, Shahriel, Gomi, Ozdemir. That could change a little bit. ABDF, Basharat, Charrière, Cavalcanti, Edwards. So that won't change. ACDE, that's Grand Slam. That might change a little bit. That would be Basharat, Gomi, Cavalcanti, and Uzdemir. That's not bad. That's the Grand Slam there. Which, by the way, I think we've actually still cashed in more Grand Slams than triple plays, which is shocking. Oh yeah, by the way, R&R, I don't know if you're still listening, but I actually cashed in because you were asking me about, longer parlays. What are the bigger parlays you've cashed in? A couple of times over the last couple weeks, I parlayed together a lot of the PFL ones and UFC, and then a couple of the other ones that were happening within the same week. So I actually had multiple 10 and 8 legs cash in. So those were good. Those were good. But I mean, to be fair, the numbers weren't as high as obviously I would like. But I would be betting like put a 50-cent parlay down on it, and then I would get a return of most of the time at $2.50 and $3 or so. But I mean, it's like most of these people are like minus 500 favorites, like they should win. So, and I still got like, 4 or 5 times my money back. So that's what I mean by these parlays really have been working well for me, actually. Uh, Especially structuring it like this, the A, B, D, F, A, B, C, blah, 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 blah. Those letters, they really, really do work well. I'm shocked, but like that is actually how I've been making the most money. It's the other money. It's the other bets that I've been struggling with. It's the prop bets, the money lines, those ones. That's where I've been struggling. The parlays, I'm murdering it with the parlays. I am absolutely fucking killing it with the sniper picks and the parlays. But yeah, it's just the other bets. I've been like, either they've been like so fucking close to cashing in. I can't even tell you how many times it was like, oh my God, I thought they were going to cash that in. Like it misses by like, somebody almost gets a finish in the first round and then they end up going to a decision and it's like, bruh, you almost won in the first round and I would have cashed in my bets here and nope. Couldn't get it. Couldn't get the finish. That happened, I think, like 4 or 5 times in the last couple weeks alone. Anyway, so yeah, that's how the parlays have been going. And then, yes, I have cashed in multiple 10-leg parlays in the past couple weeks or so. And yeah. So it does happen. Definitely does happen. You just got to pick the right people. Obviously. That is how it works. But yeah, I find that there's always every single card, every single MMA card, truly every single MMA card, there is always at least 1 or 2 that are like, there's no way this person's losing. There's no way. Like on the Contender Series, actually, the Contender Series has been killing me the last couple weeks. I have been getting slaughtered on the Contender Series, but even then, like this one, it was like, okay, well, Peterson is going to win. There's absolutely no way that Chandler Cole is going to win this fight. I'm sorry. Like, no. He's just going to get thrown around for however long this fight lasts, which is exactly what happened. So that was another one where it's like, okay, he's going in the parlays. I don't care if this is Contender Series. He's going in all the parlays. He's my sniper pick for that one. Put a lot of money on Peterson. That's what I did. And works. It works. Anyway, that is it for today. A nice, slightly shorter one. I would like it if all of them were about this short, but yeah, we usually get carried away on some tangents. Yeah, which I'm sure will keep happening. But like I said, I will be back here every week from now until who knows. I am not planning on going anywhere anytime soon. And it actually seems like there's still going to be cards every single week until until actually, that's probably when I'm going to be taking a break is New Year's, because that's when they stop doing fights. They stop like middle December and then start again early January. So that's probably I'll probably be doing this every week until then. So yeah, we'll see how it keeps going. I feel good about this card though, because there's a lot of because there's so many new people. That means that there's a lot of underdogs that could really cash in here, or some unexpected results for sure with the over-unders and everything too. Yeah, because people aren't used to seeing them. So that usually leads to some pretty crazy betting lines cashing in. But yeah, enjoy Tough on there. Are you watching the Contender Series too? I've been watching every single week. It's been good. This last week was pretty good. I will say, the week before that, not one of the best ones, but the other ones I've enjoyed. But yeah, there was that one in there with the one with 4 fights. That was last week. That wasn't great, but the other cards were good, except for the results where I got 0 points multiple times. I don't think I've ever gotten 0 point. Like, did I actually get 0? Oh, I got 0 on verdict one time. I don't think I got 0. No, I definitely did not get 0 on Tapology, but I think I got 50. I got 50 points on week 1, I think. And week 2 was like 150 points. This time I got like 290, so it was better. But yeah, Contender Series not going well for me or anybody really on Tapology. Like, we're all getting pretty fucked up. Anyway, that's it for me. Yeah, I'm excited for Paris. Lots of good fights, lots of interesting fights, lots of debuts. Can't wait to watch. And then we got the pay-per-view next week. Oh my God, UFC 293. Let's see if there's any cool ones on there besides Izzy, of course, and Strickland. My God. Jack Jenkins is back. That's nice. Carlos Ulberg. That's a good one. Manel Kopp is back. That's cool. Justin Tafa gets a first round KO probably. Tuivasa Volkov. That is an interesting one. That is very interesting. Because either Tai Tuivasa gets a crazy KO or Volkov kind of avoids it and gets a decision, I guess. That'll be interesting. So yeah, lots of stuff next week. I'm excited for that one too. But that is it for me. Time for dinner. Time to go downstairs and have dinner and relax. I'm losing it over here. It's also actually getting kind of warm in here. Thanks for watching, everybody. I will see you next time after I find this outro. There we go. See you next time. Thanks for watching. And thanks for welcoming me back. I'm happy to be back here. It was a nice break, but I'm glad to be back. I will see you next time.